Let's start with a fun thought experiment, a science fiction tale. Picture this. In the near future, our automatic sky scans spot another visitor from between the stars. We've seen ones like Oumuamua and Borisov before. They're dim, exciting, and quiet. These are travelers from distant star systems, slipping through ours like shadows, showing us the galaxy is old and linked in ways we barely understand. We follow them, study them, and then they fade into the vast darkness, keeping their mysteries. But what if this new one wasn't quiet? What if something amazing happened in this story? What if, in the calm, clean setup of NASA's Deep Space Network, a worker watching the object's path suddenly noticed a pattern in the noise, a pattern that shouldn't be there? This is the tale of 3I Atlas, an object from outside our solar system, and a setup that dives into one of the biggest questions we can ask. What if a star visitor chose to talk? In our story, it all starts not with a loud crash, but a soft hint. Picture the moment. It's the early morning hours of October 17th, 2025. Out in the chilly, quiet desert of California, a huge sensitive dish points up at the sky. It's a symbol of human wonder, an ear big enough to catch the weakest sounds from the edge of our solar system. This dish, part of the Deep Space Network, is doing a normal track on the interstellar wanderer called 3I Atlas. A young worker keeps an eye on the data flow, a stream of numbers showing the faint buzz of space. But then something odd shows up. A clear, repeating electric pulse comes out of the static. The signal is simple but smart. It runs for exactly 11.3 seconds. Then comes a stretch of total quiet that's so perfect, it's clearly made on purpose. Exactly 47 minutes later, that 11.3-second pulse comes back. It's like clockwork, a beat and a break so steady that no natural thing could explain it. In hours, other sky watchers check it. The signal is real. It's not a bounce back. It's not interference. It's happening. In the control rooms at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, no one panics like in movies. Instead, there's deep, sharp focus. This is the dream scientists have held close for over 100 years. They carefully check for equipment errors. They test everything. The signal stays. Then they start ruling out every known natural reason. Pulsars are steady, but their spins and signals don't match. Magnetars are strong, but their bursts are wild and not on such an exact schedule. Quasars are too far, their light too spread out. What they're hearing isn't mess, it's order. The decision comes slowly, in quiet wonder. The signal makes sense on its own. It's a planned math message from something that's probably not a comet. If you're hooked by the deep puzzle of 3I Atlas and want more space tales like this, show the cosmos you're tuned in. Every view helps fuel this hunt for the unknown. The object has been a riddle for months. Since it first entered our solar system, 3I Atlas has stood out. Its path was weird, its makeup odd from how bright it was and how it moved. Some info hinted it might be empty inside. Other details suggested it's incredibly old, maybe older than our solar system. But it stayed silent until now. In this tale, the signal isn't just a basic beep. As teams collect more data, the signal gets stronger, not fast, but steady. Over just 5 hours of close watching, it clears up, sharpens. It's not weakening. It's like something inside that old hollow thing is waking up, like it's carefully building power, starting a system, getting ready for the next step. This isn't rough or forceful. It's thoughtful. It's the hum of a machine asleep for ages turning on. Scientists and engineers team up to look at the data. They all agree. The chance this signal comes from random nature is tiny. It's a message. Then, as the group starts the huge job of breaking it down, things shift. 3 days in, the steady repeating light changes. It stops being a broad shout in all directions. It tightens. It aims. New path checks are done. A report goes straight to the top science leaders in the agency. The beam isn't spilling into empty space anymore. It's aimed right at Earth. This isn't a chance find. It's a hello. When the Deep Space Network first caught that 11.3-second repeat, scientists first thought carefully and doubted. Maybe a tricky bounce, a signal from Earth hitting the object, or new space noise. But they checked the frequency and doubt vanished, replaced by huge meaning. The message came at 1.42 GHz. That's the exact line from neutral hydrogen, the most common stuff in the universe. Skywatchers call it the water hole. For years, SETI experts guessed Smart Life would pick this channel. It's a calm, safe spot in the space airwaves, a shared sign. Why? Hydrogen builds stars. Any beings who look up, from any world, would know its mark. It's the basic ringtone for the galaxy. Channel 1, across stars. In our story, whoever made this signal wanted to be noticed. They picked the frequency to be clear. But it wasn't just a plain sound. This is where code experts join in. Inside that 11.3-second loop are stacks of detailed patterns, nested designs, packed info. Think Morse code, but way more advanced. A note working on many speeds at once. There are smaller repeats every 1.7 seconds. And inside those, quick changes flash in bits of a second, like a secret hidden in the main send. NASA's team knows they're in new ground. They call in top experts, code breakers, radio builders, AI specialists for the biggest decode job ever. They start careful teamwork, checking against all known nature events. Their finding isn't panic. It's a calm, world-changing yes. The odds of random nature making this signal are zero. It's made by design. That truth fills the rooms. The meaning is huge. If it's not chance, not nature, something out there is on purpose talking to us. Just as teams think they can dig into the long decode work, 3i Atlas does. The unexpected. It changes the message. 3 days after first spot, 3 days of team study, the pattern shifts. On October 20th night, just after 11:15 p.m. Eastern, the send from 3i Atlas changes. No more steady pulse into space. It turns into a tight, planned burst. For 8 minutes and 24 seconds, the signal narrows. It shrinks from a wide space glow, like a far lighthouse, to a sharp-aimed ray, like a laser. Data from the Arecibo Legacy Observatory in Puerto Rico, brought in to help, confirms the amazing. The beam isn't wandering. It's not random. In our tale, it's locked on Earth. Let's be straight. Nature doesn't do this. It can't. Natural radio sends are messy. They spread everywhere, like light from a plain bulb or waves on water. What the World Network sees now is built. It's a spotlight. Something that can aim electric energy over hundreds of millions of kilometers with exact precision. That control needs tech. It needs deep physics know-how, a skill we're just starting to touch. And this traveler came from beyond stars. Jet Propulsion Lab engineers run the path math again and again. Not for escape, but answers. They find none in nature. The lineup isn't luck. The object's spot in space, the beam direction, Earth's place in orbit, all perfect. Someone aimed at us on purpose. Here's the key fact that stops the science team cold. The timing. The signal turns to an aimed beam just 9 days before 3i Atlas swings behind the sun. That's a key point in any path. For 3 weeks, it'll be fully hidden, lost in sun glare. It's like the object is sending a clear note before vanishing, like saying, "Pay attention, I'm here before I go." A hello, an alert, or a goodbye before a break. No answers. But one thing is clear and deep. Whatever's in that star traveler, whatever mind guides it, just made its first clear, open move. By morning, October 21st, the feel in World Space Group shifts from strong interest to calm, big wonder. In every control spot, from Goldstone to Goddard, quiet focus replaces usual talk. Screens once full of normal data now show this one amazing source. A find this big would normally spark world talk, news, chats, big titles. But here, deep quiet from groups, not hiding or scared, quiet from respect. The sound of humans as a group holding breath. What do you say when you prove you're not alone? What's the right step for something never happened before? Agency heads talk quietly and agree. No hype. This is for careful, proven science. Time to listen. This isn't fear, this is honor. So, space groups keep watching in that respectful quiet, and thinkers start what they do best. Imagine the impossible. If 3i Atlas sends on purpose, if it's tech, the question isn't just what it says, but why. 3 main ideas form in talks, not scary but smart ways to understand. First, the beacon idea. Here, 3i Atlas is an old probe, a robot scout, a lost ship from a long-gone group. It quietly does its job. Watch. The signal might just be a check-in, a simple auto note. I see you. You're noted. I'm a machine. We're not a danger, just data on a trip millions of years long. Then the second, deployment idea. The signal timing, right before close sun pass, isn't chance. It's planned. Thinkers guess the hollow inside isn't empty. It holds smaller units, a group of probes to release while hidden behind sun. That's the blind spot for 3 weeks. This says the beam at Earth is notice. A cool machine voice. Releasing now, stay back. Or, watch this too. Third, the one with most wonder, fitting the AIM signal best. Contact idea. What if the whole thing, first pulse to tight beam, is a planned invite? Not just words, but a check. To see how this young, loud planet reacts to mystery. Test our teamwork, interest, unity, or quiet. Because in this story, our response is group quiet, careful watch, calm thought. If something watches, that's info. Every pulse, beam, meeting, part of it. For us, and maybe them. By now, all data on 3i Atlas is too big to miss. The deeper they look, the odder. Consensus. Odds of natural are tiny. Let's go over the file. It doesn't act like any comet or rock. 1. Seems hollow. Gravity pull near 0, not like solid its size. 2. Its slowed entering system, used push. No debris does that. 3. Path perfect, lined with planet disk in degrees. Stats amazing. 4. Mars flyby, timed exact with our probes, odds low for chance. 5. Odd green chemicals and glow, no known match. 6. The signal, clear send at hydrogen line, nested math, then aimed at Earth. Each odd alone stretches belief. Together, they break it. Not a comet, a machine. Built, old, traveled light years with plan. This tale says we might already have first contact, and we're not ready. If watching us, it has for months. Quiet measure, record, adjust. The signal, maybe not hello, maybe start. As October 29th nears, day 3i Atlas hides behind sun. Top scopes reposition, sensors tune, antennas aim. Once past sun glare, lost for 3 weeks in dark. When back, we'll know. As October 29th crept closer in our made-up tale, a quiet, deep tension spread through the science world. It was the kind of buzzing excitement you feel when something huge and unstoppable is about to happen. 3i Atlas was now days, then hours, from its closest, fastest swing by the sun. Every deep space dish on Earth locked onto its spot, soaking up data. But something amazing was going on. The once clear, steady signal started to change. It wasn't fading, it was tightening. The 11.3-second pulse began to shrink. The nested patterns inside grew quicker, more packed, each burst richer than the last. The clean hydrogen line now carried layered tones. Some sound experts called it a mix of music and math poetry. No natural thing could make this. It was like the signal itself was gearing up, building, sharpening for one final big send. At the Jet Propulsion Lab, the PATH team spotted something even stranger. The object's speed was dropping again, just a bit, but real. It was pushing back. A comet racing toward the sun should speed up, pulled by gravity. 3i Atlas was fighting that pull. It was braking in a way no one could easily explain. Meanwhile, scopes in Chile, Hawaii, and Spain caught quick flashes of light along its surface. The triangle shapes the James Webb Telescope had seen were turning in perfect sync, like a visual code playing live. Some experts compared it to a startup sequence. Others, in low voices of awe, called it a machine-changing form. Then a thinker who laid out the 3 ideas made a point that summed up everyone's feeling. He said, when you see shapes, balance, and tuned sounds all working together in deep space, you're not watching a rock, you're watching purpose. He showed a picture of the final tight signal. It wasn't a simple beat anymore. It had turned into a stunning pattern, 3 overlapping spirals, like a space signature. Some said it looked like a magnet map. Others said it was like DNA's double twist, but flipped. And then, at the exact predicted second, it slipped behind the sun. Total quiet. The signal vanished. For the next 3 days, experts worldwide picked apart the last huge data burst, hunting for any leftover trace. But even the sharpest trackers, ones that can still hear Voyager far beyond our system, found nothing. Not even dust. The path that once held the 3i Atlas was empty. In a private meeting, the thinker put it best. A natural thing behind the sun follows rules. You know where it'll pop out. This one didn't follow rules. It followed a plan. Here's the twist no one saw coming. During the 3-week blackout, while the world waited in nail-biting silence, a new signal started. It wasn't from deep space. It wasn't from 3i Atlas. It came from Earth's own high air. The same pulse pattern, same 1.42 GHz, but weaker, like a faint copy. It was bouncing, or maybe sent back toward the sun from the exact spot over the South Atlantic anomaly that 3i Atlas had aimed at. Was it a bounce? A planet reply? Or proof that whatever 3i Atlas was, it had already landed? Because in the quiet between our curious signals and the sun's bright glare, something had shifted. Something unseen was now waiting. In late November, after 3 long weeks of global holding of breath, the viewing window opened again. Every scope on Earth aimed at the spot where 3i Atlas should reappear. But what they saw broke every guess. It wasn't just continuing its path. Something basic had changed. Its course had nudged, small but on purpose. It had fixed its route while hidden behind the sun. And the signal, the one silent for weeks, was back. But now it wasn't aimed at Earth. It pointed outward, a tight beam into empty space. Its power now 1,000 times stronger, boosted by the sun's energy. And it wasn't just the hydrogen line. It was a rich layered flood of data pouring from our solar system into the dark. The world now faced a big, exciting choice. Keep watching in quiet wonder, or try to talk back. But the deeper truth hit hard. Whatever sent 3i Atlas is studying us, measuring our moves, maybe testing if we're ready for real contact. As nights passed, the message grew clearer. The universe wasn't just giving us a visitor. It was handing us a challenge, a marvel, a question. What will we do next? Are we ready for the answer? Our solar system in the story had changed. The quiet was over. 3i Atlas came back from behind the sun, not as a passive passerby, but as an active player. Its path tweak was small but meaningful, a clear sign of choice. But the biggest news was the signal. The faint 11.3-second pulse was gone. In its place, a steady tight beam aimed away from the sun into deep space, and it was strong. The object had used its close sun pass to grab solar power and amp its send 1,000 times. It was a river of info now flowing out of our system. Scientists in this tale had a new job, not just spot, but crack what 3i Atlas was saying. The first layer was familiar. The 1.42 GHz waterhole stayed. But it wasn't the message. It was the carrier, like the address on a letter. The real content inside was huge. Code teams found stacks of info. First levels, pure math. Long chains of prime numbers, shape patterns. Pi to thousands of places. A hello in physics language. Proof of smart order. But under that, something shifted the mood from wonder to deep thought. The signal held the flipped double helix spiral from the last pre-sun burst. It kept coming back. It wasn't just a mark. It was data. As they decoded, a beautiful, chilling truth appeared. The send seemed to hold coded pictures of Earth life. Chains like amino acids, protein shapes, carbon life geometry. Then they found the echo, buried deep. The weak pulse from Earth's air during the blackout. The object was sending it back. Playing our own reply. This changed everything. The test and warning ideas faded. A new, bigger theory rose, mixing the ghost ship idea with this data. 3i Atlas was a self-running probe. Its steps now made sense. Phase 1. Arrive, enter system, slow, line up. Phase 2. Watch. Use beam to scan Earth deep, not as threat, but data grab. Phase 3. Confirm, catch air echo, prove scan worked. Phase 4. Report. Use sun power to send findings home, wherever that is. In this tale, we weren't being greeted. We were being filed. The meaning was massive. This wasn't the first contact we dreamed of. No hello, no talk. Just the cool, perfect work of a machine doing its old job. A job set by a group maybe gone before mammals walked Earth. Dr. Sarah Chen, the sky expert who first flagged its odd makeup, named this the librarian idea. The universe is a library. This probe is the librarian, moving shelf to shelf, scanning books, noting they exist. Not here to read the story, just log it. This raised a personal heavy question for the team. If it's just reporting, What did it say about us? That hung in the air as they tracked it. The outward broadcast never stopped, a constant data stream into the dark. But it was moving. Its new path wasn't straight out of the system. It aimed slow but sure toward the asteroid belt. This brought the deployment idea back in a new way. What if the job wasn't just watch and report? What if there's another step? The von Neumann probe idea, self-copy machines, had been theory for years. Find rock, build copies, spread, watch, wait. Once sci-fi. Now, in our story, scarily real. This wasn't a lost ship, it was a seed. Then, as if to back their growing guess, the Vera Rubin Observatory in Chile, still in test runs, showed new lights, tiny shiny dots breaking off the main body. At first, experts tried normal answers, debris, ice, breakup, but debris doesn't move in perfect order. The pieces, dozens, didn't tumble or drift. They moved together, exact, like a smart group. They kept equal spaces, shifting and turning as one. A new term spread in private logs. Deployment pattern. If right, 3i Atlas isn't just a smart probe. It's a carrier. A hive releasing something. Maybe mini probes, sensors, transmitters, tools to spread, watch, map. Each a small smart node grabbing sharp data on our star, planets, and us. And here's the odd part. The second those pieces appeared, Earth radioscopes caught a new signal. Not the main outward flood. That kept going. This was fresh. A weak repeating ping on a frequency no space thing makes naturally. Not a broadcast like radio. More like a scan. A quick, sharp repeat jumping frequencies. Some called it space sonar, mapping our whole system fast. Yet no one could pin the source. Not aimed at Earth. Not the sun. It seemed to come from everywhere. A round wave spreading like a ping in vast space. What if the pieces form a shared mind? Not dumb tools reporting to a boss ship, but linked nodes making one thinking network across millions of kilometers. If so, 3i Atlas isn't one machine. It's many, alive in ways we can't grasp. As it nears the asteroid belt, the swarm should fully wake. Pings grow stronger. Pieces pull solar power. Heat signatures rise, not from warmth, but energy. They're charging, getting ready. The question isn't just who built it. It's what will it do next? The pings were only the warm-up. In our growing story, the solar system is no longer a calm neighborhood. It's now home to a living, spread-out mind. The swarm let loose by 3i Atlas is talking. But what happened next turned every Earth scope toward the same spot. It started small, a weak electric ripple caught by several far-apart observatories. At first it looked like normal galaxy hiss, but when the teams calmly lined up the data from different dishes, a clear repeat stood out. It wasn't noise. Buried in the static was a tight, ordered sequence. The signal matched 3i Atlas's path exactly. It wasn't coming from empty space. It was coming from the object. Now things get truly wild. The pulse isn't shooting one way. It isn't aimed at Earth. It's pointed outward, away from our sun, into the deep black. And it's layered, flipping through a string of smart frequencies. A waterfall of clean data. Every burst lasts exactly 127 milliseconds. That number, 127, was the same length the James Webb Telescope measured inside its triangle grid. In this tale, it can't be chance. It's a mark, a math fingerprint that says, I'm here, I'm awake. So, what's it doing? Some experts think 3i Atlas has started its main data relay stage. It's grabbing everything its swarm collected, scans of our world, our tech, our air, and beaming it far beyond our reach. But others, in low, thoughtful voices, suggest something bigger. It's not just reporting. It's calling home. If that's true, this machine isn't a silent watcher. It's sending word across huge distances of space and time to whoever launched it. Maybe a group that built it before humans learned to draw on cave walls. Here's the detail that keeps the scientists up at night. The send has planned silence. Long, perfect gaps of nothing between the data bursts. In code work, silence isn't empty. It means something, like a pause in speech or a comma in writing. Some now believe those quiet spots aren't just breaks, they're orders. Or even replies from a listener we can't see. If the talk is two-way, something out there is hearing and answering back. But that raises the giant question, why now? Why wake up here, near our sun, near Earth? The only world in this system with tools to even partly understand what's happening. A famous thinker once said, "The universe is a library and we've just opened the first page." Maybe 3i Atlas is that page, a story told in code, shapes, and silence louder than sound. And maybe it's not the only page. For years we've dreamed of hearing from the stars. No one thought the answer would come this soon, or from inside our own solar system. What if cracking this code is like turning a key, a trigger to wake something sleeping inside the object or in a huge hidden network it's part of? Some experts already warn against rebuilding the full message. They say it might be a lock, not a welcome, a space wall not meant to be crossed. Others call it the universe's Rosetta Stone, final proof that smart life beats biology, physics, even time. As the object nears its closest sun point, the signal grows stronger. It's feeding whatever 3i Atlas is, building for a final big step. Solar scopes, built to watch the sun, start picking up something no one expected: a flare shadow. Each time the sun spits radiation, a faint, impossible echo bends back around the object. Space itself seems twisted by whatever field surrounds it. Experts call it an optical oddity, but in private notes they use a new term: containment field, a bubble of bent space-time only possible with tech far beyond ours. Then the swarm moves again. The pieces stop their sonar pings and spiral back to the main body. Not wild, but in perfect lockstep. They line up along its magnet poles, forming glowing rings now visible in heat view. And for the first time since entering our system, 3i Atlas releases its own raw power. This isn't reflected sunlight. It's a clean, ordered energy pulse, like a giant machine switching on. Readings don't match any known fuel burn, nuclear blast, or fusion. It's pure. It's focused. It's like a quantum motor turning sun rays straight into motion, a machine drinking starlight. Every scope on Earth and in orbit locks on. We're watching live. The object is changing shape. The triangle plates slide into new spots. The 127-meter grid inside starts to hum at a steady beat. Not random, planned. The sound of an engine starting. At that exact second, the complex spiral send to deep space stops. In its place, one strong, steady tone. For the first time, we may be seeing non-human tech touch our star on purpose. And if that's true, we've stepped into a brand new chapter of space history. One where humans aren't the only ones making choices in the solar system.